Hey guys, it's Chandra here again, and welcome back to Indirect Knowledge. So tonight, we got a tarot card reading, and this is for Perseffanie. And Perseffanie wants to know if her and this person she knows is going to, they're going to make it in the long run. So just shuffling the cards to get them nice and shuffled, really good. And we'll just do a tarot card reading. Now, I'm just going to put these cards out. I'm just going to actually go ahead and lay them out. And it's just going to be a regular 7-card reading that I normally do. And it's going to pretty much tell us the past, present, future. Give us a little insight into the here and now. Give us a little insight into the kind of what the attitude or the outcome would be, in terms of the desire for that, as far as Persephone is concerned. And then we'll look at the answer and then the solution. So in the past, we have the Hierophant, and show you guys here. You see the Hierophant kind of resembles like a pope. Sometimes people refer to this as like the Pope card. And this particular card, the Pope card or the Hierophant, however you want to refer to it, it's indicated by a 5 in numerology. You can see that with the Roman numeral 5 above the Hierophant there. Now the Hierophant, this particular card in the tarot, it's one of the major arcana, and it's kind of like when we talk about major arcana, we're talking about things that are kind of, to do with the whole of life, so it's sort of like the big picture perspective. It's like the life lessons, those kind of things. It's not really the microcosm that we live in, and to the terms of the day-to-day, or like just basic lessons that we would get. It's more like bigger life lessons, or a picture that is more encompassing, things along those lines. So the Hierophant teaches us about the importance of culture, tradition, religion, things that help contribute to our identity, make us who we are, contribute to our value system, these things. And in the past, this was something that was a factor, and this was about, these are things that, when you have these identities, or you have these things from the past, these things that make up our future. It could be our religion, it could just be our upbringing, it could be the civilization that we are brought up in, those kind of things. They have it's a kind of a double-edged sword here, because what happens is like on one end, we are, they help to bind us. I mean, they help to give us, for example, if you grew up in a certain religion and you had a certain culture and everything, say, for example, like everything in your life disappeared, all the people you love passed away, or, just you were without them, basically. Because of your culture and because of your religion and because of the things that are tradition-based, that have contributed to your awareness of the world, your identity, things of that nature, you would then be able to go out and meet other people with a similar background, people that shared the same values, the same background and different things as you. And it would help kind of assimilate you back into society in a sense. It would give you this, like this feeling that you belong somewhere. Because let's face it, I mean, if we lost everyone we cared about, it would really kind of, make us feel alone, like we weren't maybe in this world altogether with the people that we know, love, and care about. But because we have these traditions and things, we can go back and use them as sort of a reference point and meet other people that share the same values. And so, oftentimes when people get in relationships, that kind of thing, it's because they have similar value systems, or for other reasons as well. But on the other hand, the Hierophant, the interesting thing about the Hierophant is that it can also be the thing that we try and shun. It could be the thing that kind of restricts us or holds us back. So it keeps us from looking at things in a different perspective, or things along those lines. So that's something to bear in mind as well. So it can be one of those things that, it can help us, but it can also feel like a hindrance sometimes too. And that's what the past is really, that's what the situation was kind of, I'm picking that up. Maybe there was some kind of an issue there where it's sort of like a internal conflict that we might have with like our background versus where we're kind of headed, or what we're trying to morph into, or to move in that particular type of direction. Now, the next card that we have is the present moment, and that's our Page of Swords. Okay. So you can see the Page of Swords there. Now, pages are younger people. Sometimes it could be like a young maiden, or a young boy or something like that. But this is about youth. There's a youthfulness to it. Pages are part of the court cards. This is a sword. It's part of the sword suite in the tarot. Swords are about mental. They're things to do with the mind. And I've said this before. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a monk. And so we do a lot of service work and different things, but spread love for God and that kind of thing. But the page here, so the sword here is representative of the mind. And from the Bhagavad Gita, there's a verse. It's, for one who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. For one who has failed to do so, the mind will be the greatest enemy. And how true are those words? This is a page, and the page brings a message, and it's a message that has to do with the mind. A lot of our internal conflict, a lot of the conflict that we experience in life, it's not so much the external conflict or situations outside of ourselves. Oftentimes it's the situations that are within us. And that has a lot to do with the mind. So this can cause a lot of frustration, angst, anxiety, these type of mental diseases, these kind of things. A lot of that kind of stuff can happen as a result of the swords. And it really all depends. So this is a message of potential. And when we think of things in the mind, we think of things that could come about. We could see a future, for example. But we have to vision that. And a lot of that has to do with our thinking and our thoughts. This particular page asks a lot of questions, wants to find out all the facts, and kind of more or less find a plan, do some research, learn some new things, and that kind of thing. And that's kind of where the Page of Swords is really at. So it's sort of inquiry. So in this type of a situation, it's about inquiry. We're asking questions, trying to get some better understanding of things, doing our due diligence, our research, those kind of things. Get an idea. It's actually evident in the question that was asked by so this, and I'm looking at the clouds here. I'm seeing the clouds, and the clouds are about movement and also like a veil. Sometimes clouds can kind of keep us from seeing, things outside the cloud. They kind of hover over. So they kind of keep us away sometimes from seeing the bigger picture. But Persephone, maybe this has something to do with just your individual inquiry in terms of what you're trying to get from this and that kind of thing. So our next card is the Two of Swords. Okay, now this is the near future. Now I'm calibrated to about 3 months out into the future. And then depending on what I get from this card, I can give you more insight in terms of a timeline, that kind of thing. I'm getting about 4 months out with this particular card right here, right now. Twos, and you see the Two of Swords here. Twos are about partnerships. And it's about, you notice this person is blind, right? So when you see this person, the Two of Swords, it's kind of like it's decision time. And if you choose not to make a decision, well, in a sense, that's also a decision. So it could be that you're kind of like on the fence about something in about 4 months from now. And you'll be faced with some kind of a decision. And during that period of time, you'll probably at least give the appearance that you're kind of putting on blinders. Like you'll intentionally kind of turn a blind eye, not really want to see things 100% for what they are. A lot of that has to do with pain. There's a pain, and pain comes a lot from emotions, and emotions can be triggered from life experiences. Something happens in our life that we're not fond of or that we don't want to have happen, that can cause us pain. But again, keep in mind my point here about the decision-making process. Not choosing to make a decision in and of itself is essentially a decision. So at this time in your life, like in about 4 months from now, when things start to go sideways, that's when I want you to think about taking your time and then really choosing the best choice for yourself. Okay? Don't sacrifice during this in the next 4 months. It's not about sacrifice. It's more about, I'm picking up that this energy of just, you need to really do what's in your best interest, and don't worry so much about other people and what's in their best interest. Don't sacrifice your own happiness and well-being at just to make someone else happy, that kind of thing. Okay, so now the answer card. This is sort of the key that unlocks the door to everything as far as the outcome goes. And we'll get to the outcome in a few moments, but just to quickly run you through it, we have the Star. This is your answer. And the Star is a really good omen in the tarot. It's an indication of a good omen. It's good things to come. It's a better path, in other words. So this answer is going to be the key to really unlocking this path of love, this path of, well, it's a happier path, but it's also, it's a pathway of peace. So it's where peace and things like that, you'll calm down, you'll feel more relaxed, your energy will be really good and refreshed. You'll get a sense of like cleansing almost, and that will be a really good time, and you'll just feel really, really good about things. And this is the key. And the key is that, you have in your future these good omens, things that are coming about. So no matter how bleak things get or how disturbed you become, please remember that the omens are in your favor and that better things are coming for you. They're coming down the line for you. It'll be important for you to understand that, because let's just say, for example, like you hold on to things that are not right for you. That would then hinder things that are right for you. And then you would be sacrificing future happiness, or, short term, the coming into your awareness would be that happiness in lieu of, things that would cause you unhappiness. So this Page of Swords we talked about, we said that was a message. It was really a message about taking your time, doing the research, the planning. The energy that's surrounding that, though, is this Emperor card right here. Okay. Now, in the Emperor is also in the major arcana, and just like the Star, just like the Hierophant, that was the first card that you had. This guy, the Emperor, he is he's about rules. He's about laws. It's about creating order. The reason that these things, sometimes, people look at it as kind of paternalistic, this particular card, the Emperor. And I think a big reason why that is because we have the Empress, which backs up before the Emperor. Keep that in mind. It does happen before the Emperor in the major arcana. And the Empress is really about creating, like fertility and femininity, those kind of things, where the Emperor is about law and order, rules, following instructions, to a T, this kind of oppressive, I don't want to say oppressive, but it's kind of a heavier energy, more dominant kind of energy. Do what I say or else kind of energy. And that Emperor is essentially saying, we need to do things this way. And there's a reason we need to do them this way. It's not just because I'm bossy and I say, well, we need to do it this way. It's because when you have a foundation of laws, orders, rules, what do we do if this situation happens? We know what the plan is, essentially. And that's what laws and rules really allow us to do. So we know how to judge something based on the rules, based on laws. And it doesn't always mean that the rules or the laws are fair per se. But the rules are the rules. But the reason that they're so important is because this is what creates foundation. This is what creates a foundation of success. I want to point this out to you, Persephone, because with this Page of Swords right here, that's really kind of this whole message thing. It's like we're got to get a foundation. There's certain things that we have to follow. And if we set things up nicely in a nice way, then we have some structure, some order, law and order, rules, instructions, these kind of things. Then things will be better set up. Okay, you'll have that foundation to be able to build something lasting. If you don't have the foundation, then what happens? Things don't stick around too long. They don't last. But let's look at where your energy is, really kind of what your ideal situation would be, or, kind of where your attitude is about this whole situation. We have we have this 10 of Cups. I hope you see this card nicely. It's I really like this card, 10 of Cups. It's the last of the Cups cards before we get into the Court cards in the Cups. And it's about completion. It's about satisfaction. 10's about completion in the tarot. But this is about joy. It's about triumph. It's about, it's a wish card in a sense. With this particular card, you're fulfilled in love. You're fulfilled in your relationship. And it's a really great card, all about personal attainment, getting what you want, mostly to do with relationships. Cups are about relationships. So that's kind of where you would like to see things lasting and all that. And then finally, we have the Magician. This is your outcome. Okay. Magician here, you notice that we have a lot of symbology. We have the Pentacles. That's money and groundedness. We have the Cups. This is relationships and emotion. He's holding kind of a staff here. That's a wand. Wands are about creative energy. It's about action. And then there's a sword also on the table here. And the swords are about the mental and mind. We talked about that a little bit. We have the infinity. It's about, creating things that last. It's also sort of this paradox about everything. Oh, and we also have the one right here. One is internal power. So the magician is basically saying, okay, you've got all these here resources. You've got the pinnacles. So you got money. You got the cups. You got relationships. That's all fulfilled. You've got the wand. You got the sword. All of these things you've got right here before you, and so you're pretty stocked with resources. So whatever you want to have happen, it's really within your control. And that's what a magician does, right? The magician can wave his magic wand and make whatever he wants happen. And the reason he's able to do that is because he's got his magic wand, or he's got whatever prop he needs in order to make that whatever come about. So it's a great reading. So now you're probably wondering what the answer is, especially in terms of the way that I've kind of read these cards individually. So the answer is yes, yes, yes. But there is a cost for the yes. And the cost for the yes is simply that you got to kind of understand that tradition, culture, and things, those things are important, but understand what role they play in your life. Then you need to understand this message, and the message is that you need to have foundations, you need to have rules, you need to have some kind of structure and order. The reason for that is because that is going to set the relationship up strong, make it more lasting, and give you kind of really that foundation that you need in order to create something lasting. In about 4 months from now, though, there will be some turbulence. You'll see some friction, things on that end. When that starts to happen and all, I want you to really realize that, things are really in your control, okay? You need to make some decisions. Sometimes things can be painful. Some things may have to go out of your life in order to keep certain things in your life. And, to take time to choose really the best choice for yourself. That will be key and central at that point. And remember, not choosing is still a choice. As far as the future goes, it's bright and beautiful. It's one of joy and satisfaction and great experiences. In order to be able to create the future for yourself and all, it does help to have some karma points, or whatever you want to call it. But that's really where the star comes into play at. That's where, good omens happen. And when we talk about stars, it's about wishing upon a star, right? So the magician has all the tools and things. So you got to be able to take what you've got and take the favor of the universe, or God, or however you want to understand it, the good omens and things that are there for you, and then use this to your advantage, So just keep cognizant, keep an understanding in the back of your mind that, you really have all the tools and resources to be able to make this relationship happen. And you have some understanding now. You understand about the importance of rules and laws and how that plays into the relationship, and basically creating a foundation that is built on, order and not chaos. And then you also understand the importance of the past. Maybe things have hampered your relationship in the past. It could be things that relate to the past, traditions or culture, or things on that religion, differences in understanding. Those kind of things could have contributed to some misunderstandings, that kind of thing. And then just really understanding that sometimes we want to go and, like the ostrich, bury our head in the sand and the ground because we don't want to face things. And in about 4 months from now, that's where you may be essentially kind of finding yourself at. You may have to make decisions. Somebody may want you to take sides. It could be something along these lines. And you may just want to put the blindfold on and it just, and that's really where that Two of Swords comes into play at. So anyways, but other than that, keeping these things in mind, yes, your relationship will do great and you guys will be fine. But just like anything, you have your ups and downs. So I hope that helps you. And if you have any questions or whatever, please reach out to me. And I'll be more than happy to help you in any way that I possibly can. So that's the reading. And thanks for giving me the opportunity to serve you. Much love, and I hope to see you guys on the next episode of Indirect Knowledge. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you want, hit the bell notification. Then every time we come online to do these live streams, you'll get advanced notification of that. If you would like to help the monks, if it's in your heart to do so, you can visit the website helpbydonating.com, and you can give a donation there, whatever amount that you would like. And that's always appreciated, and it helps us to be able to carry on our mission of, service and love and bringing love for God to others. But that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys on the next episode, and have a wonderful night.